my biggest worry.
Exactly.
So, I think that
It's
that's the
true. That's a
difference.
big difference. And it's a very important difference because as we're seeing more and more so technologies like, I mean, I'm trying to keep my show away from tech just because I want to be not my dad. So, but at the same time, it's hard to avoid because even like you're totally just talking about teen issues, but you're using this great new medium to get the word out and to because it spreads so much faster and it's not like someone has to buy the book, especially if it's not in print necessarily in a different country or whatever. I mean, it's very impressive what they can do.
Also,
It's
it's funny,
really
like
cool.
we talked about secret bitches, and then I started talking about Facebook bitches.
Yeah.
That's technology, but it doesn't separate. We talked about scapegoats,
Yeah.
and like one of the examples is like, oh, I have to get offline because my mom's calling me, even when she's not.
Yeah.
So like
It's
even in the
all
yeah, even in the like regular interactions, we can't help but talk about the internet because it's pervasive. I mean, I spend 14 hours a day online, maybe.
it's okay, it's your business. It's a very
Right,
good
right.
reason,
My
yeah.
business. Right. I check
Oh, it's
Facebook
okay.
like 36 times a day.
Oh,
So,
yeah, me too.
do you?
I don't,
Okay.
yeah, I am like, and I read your Cotton Candy Friends article, which for the
Yeah.
viewers is an article where you use the metaphor of, you use cotton candy as a metaphor for like Facebook friends and
Yeah.
Facebook interactions. And I totally identified with that a lot because it talks about how it's like all these different points, but it's not as satisfying. It's very kind of hollow, and you keep going, just like how you keep
It's
eating
really
cotton
good.
candy. It's really good because it's like all this information and all these people who are maybe kind of interesting, but then it leaves you wanting something and real
Hungry.
interaction. Yeah,
After
exactly.
cotton candy, you always want real food.
Yeah,
Always. Like
always
it tastes really good. You eat it for like an hour, but like
for
you're a little
so long.
sticky.
Yeah.
Like you're sticky afterwards because there's those weird friendships where you chatted with them on Facebook chat and there was no intonations and you're like, wait, does he like me? Or was like
Yeah.
he just like
Oh my
joking when he
gosh.
said that?
Such
So
an
it's like a
issue.
little bit sticky.
Such an
So
issue.
right? I know.
No. And
Facebook
also
IM can be
like
confusing.
oh my gosh. But also like for me cuz I'm not sure if you're aware, but I was in France for a year. I just spent my junior year in France. And so getting back, I hope none of these people are watching, but getting back, I would see my French friends pop up, and there's no language barrier, that's not the issue, but they
Okay.
would pop up on the Facebook chat, and they were online and I was online, and it would be so awkward because these people were like my best friends there, and we
Yeah.
just wouldn't say anything to each other. Because it's so like vague, like should you say something? There's no rules for this stuff. You
Yeah.
just kind of, I don't
I
know, like
agree. It's like
who.
a constant challenge, and it's even hard to talk about the awkwardness. You're like,
Oh, I
is this
know.
awkward for you?
Yeah.
Like, no, 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 no.
And
Like,
then
is
you
this
assume
awkward
it's
for you?
not, and you're just like, okay. And then you kind of bring things up in real life later, but sometimes not. Yeah, it's
Right.
bad.
It's a lot of awkwardness. I think actually, this is a bigger topic. I know we're running
Uh-huh.
out of time. Like,
Oh,
honestly, I think that for our generation,
hmm
like, awkwardness is like the theme.
oh my
For
gosh,
some
yeah.
reason, like the interactions are so awkward. And also I've noticed
Yeah.
that sometimes I forget to be like how to interact in real life.
Yeah.
I've been
Oh my
online
gosh.
so much that I actually forget what it's like to make real life discussion.
Yeah. Well, during the summer or like during a vacation when all my friends are gone, I'll be like, I'll read books and then I'll be online and I'll talk to them online and maybe a phone call. But when they get back and we start hanging out, and like they're my best friends, but it's so awkward because I just kind of forget some of like being in the physical presence and visual
Yeah.
cues. It's really weird.
I got this. I don't know if this is too much information for
It's
you.
fine. I don't
Okay.
worry about
All right, we're going to try. Okay. Well, one
it.
of the things on the awkwardness theme is
Uh-huh.
I work with all these teenagers and they
Yeah.
always come, we communicate on Twitter. They're on my DM pet and they're on my
Oh,
Facebook. They're always
cool.
there.
Yeah.
But they also like to send me new social networks. So I get a little ping, like I call
Yeah.
it pingxiety when like your email pings and you're like,
Yeah.
what was
Someone
that?
just said
I gotta,
something. Yeah.
when someone, yeah. Is it GChat? Is it Facebook chat?
Yeah.
Is it IM? Is it AIM? Is it
Oh my gosh.
MSN? Is it
At
my
least
email? Is it my Gmail? Is it my Skype? You know what I mean? Like
they have
that.
different sounds. Thank
Right.
goodness. Yeah.
Thank goodness. So like I get like this pingxiety. So they ping
Yeah.
me and I see like you're invited to a new social network.
Yeah.
I won't name of the social network. And so I go over to the social network and I'm like, ooh, okay, like I'll try it. And I look and it's a social network where girls like share their periods together and like track their
Oh,
periods.
Oh, that's so like cute and
And
sad.
like, yeah, and like they're 14, and I was like,
Yeah.
ugh, you know, and I'm very public about a lot of stuff, okay?
Yeah.
I put a lot out there, but that is one thing I do not put out there, okay? If number one, my first thought was ew, okay, gross. I do not want to tell people. My second thought was like too much information. Like, where are the privacy boundaries? And like, it was so awkward. You know, they emailed me and they're like, why didn't you come online with us?
Oh,
And
oh
I was
my
like, it just
gosh.
isn't. I think it's a little, you know, weird.
Putting my
I'm not
mind there. Yeah.
sure. And they're like, but then we can know, like, when you're PMSing, we won't like hang out with you.
Ooh, that's good.
I was
That's
like,
special. Thanks.
oh, like now I'm gonna be alone, like when I'm PMSing,
In
like,
the worst
my
time,
friends
yeah.
hang out with me, like what?
Oh my gosh.
So
That's
it was
so funny. Well, I mean, we're the generation of like awkwardness and oversharing with all the Facebook. I mean, it's so. I think I totally agree though with that theme of our generation. To be honest, it's like I don't even think the word awkward was totally the same meaning until 20 years
I
ago.
agree.
I get the
I
feeling that
do.
that's a relatively new concept, and
I
they
feel
don't
like I get
have
the
a
feel.
word.
I agree.
Yeah. They don't
I
have a
agree.
word for it in French too. There's
No way.
no, I'm serious. There's no word for awkward. You can say maladroit, which means like it kind of means awkward, but it doesn't really mean like you don't say like you can't. There's just no real translation.
Oh my God, that'd be hard. So you're just
I
like,
know. Well, you
like when
say
it's
this
awkward,
one
like,
word, but it kind of is a little less bad than awkwardness. It's kind of a little more comfortable.
and you're like, I need to show this is like super
Yeah,
maladroit.
like no, mais très très maladroit. Je vous assure,
Yeah.
like it's bad.
Very, very.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I don't know. I think that it must be partially the internet. I don't know.
I think that our relationships, and that's what I wrote about, you know, in the Cotton
Yeah.
Candy article, is that the relationships of digital natives are fundamentally changing. You know, the
Yeah.
way that we interact is different. You know, a lot of the most common question that I get in my speaking engagements, when I speak, on email, is from parents and adults.
Yeah.
Why would you want to be on these social networking sites and virtual worlds? That is the most common question I get.
Oh
And my answer,
gosh.
and they really don't, they want to know why. And I understand why they want to know why. And I
Yeah.
say to them, the answer is why not? We did not grow up choosing to be on social networks.
Yeah.
We grew up and that was a given.
With
There was
yeah.
no choice there. You go on Facebook as soon as
That's
you're
how you
allowed.
contact people. Yeah.
Right. So
That's
the
true.
difference is it's not a choice. And that is fundamentally changing the way that we see each other. I mean,
Yeah.
there's this new phone that's coming out where it's like a projector and it like projects onto the person's chest like their Google
No.
results.
Whoa, are you serious?
I'm serious. I'll send you the video.
Oh,
I'll send
please
you the video.
do. That's crazy.
You know, and like, could you imagine going to a party and like seeing on my chest, like, you know, my Google result, this website that I wrote, this blog that I wrote, you know,
Whoa,
it's
that's
going to change the way we were.
like fully. No, it's true. It's so
Yeah.
true. I did, and it's weird for me to like. What were we watching? We were watching this movie. Oh, we were watching Rocky Balboa,
Mhm.
and they didn't have. Not only did they not have computers, they didn't have cell phones. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they didn't have cell phones.
I don't think they had cell
We were
phones.
sitting there, and I have a younger brother who I have some questions in terms. I think we have like 10 minutes left because they went over a little bit, if that's okay with you. But
Yep.
I have some questions advice-wise later, if I
Oh,
could
sure.
ask you about
Sure.
my little brother. But so Henry and I, that's his name, we're sitting there. And we kind of like looked at each other and we looked at our parents because there was a romance scene and we're like, wait, how did they communicate? Like, how did they call each other? When did they decide to meet up? Because I just like don't. And my mom's like, oh, phone booths. Okay, mom, cool, phone booths, yeah. That's not even like true. I highly
Like,
doubt
I
it
like
was-
take pictures in photo booths now. Like,
Yeah.
when I see them, I'm like, oh my God.
I
I'm like, this would be
know.
great for my Facebook
It's
picture.
like, you know, yeah, exactly. This I'm going to upload with my scanner. And
It's
then,
on
like-
my Facebook page.
yeah. I know,
Oh God, we're
Polaroids are,
terrible,
like,
the two
enough.
of us.
I
People
know.
listening, I'm sure like, oh my
I feel so
God.
bad. Well, it's fine. I'm sure hopefully there's teens listening that understand.
But no, I totally agree with you. I think it's funny. Like I had a
Surreal.
cassette, like a cassette tape.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, like a cassette
Trendy.
tape. I know. Now it's trendy to have a
Yeah.
cassette tape.
Oh gosh, yeah.
when I was little, we listened to cassette tapes sometimes. I had like that tape
Me
where like
too.
they